In today's video, I'm going to give you one thing to focus on to make your release cleaner and more effortless, so that way you can release and follow through like the pros. So I've been coaching a lot lately, and I've been trying to work on explaining to people in different ways on how to help clean up their release, to make it more effortless, and to make things just flow a lot easier in the shot itself. If you're interested in coaching, by the way, I have links in the description below and a card at the top up there to my website, jkaminski.com, where you can book online. Anyway, like I said, I've been coaching a fair amount lately, and I've been struggling kind of to explain to people how to properly follow through, or at least how to have a good, proper, effortless follow through, so that way things aren't so rigid and stiff. Many people will struggle with a good, solid follow through like this. Many people struggle in the beginning to achieve that effortless follow through that you see many pros do at a high level. I personally think the reason that this is most people think about what they're doing with their hand, because everybody talks about a pluck that comes from the hand, right? And everybody talks about their release, meaning they're talking about their hand. So I believe that many novice shooters and many people who are finally working on trying to clean up their release focus on their hands. And when they end up focusing on their hand and they go to move it, one of several different things happen. I'm going to do my best to emulate what's going on. It's a little bit challenging because I've shot so many arrows and have this movement ingrained in my subconscious. So I'm going to do my best to mimic some different options that I've seen over my years. Many people will think about that hand moving off the face and try to get as much distance from the face and their hand as they possibly can and follow through. And what they'll actually do is they will bend their wrist and move their wrist and hand away from their face, but their elbow does not move around, their shoulder does not move around as it does in a properly executed follow through. Another option that people will have is a stiff, rigid, and very forced follow through. Usually this comes in the form of the fingers opening up when they let go of the string or something to that nature, but you can just see in this shot the rigidity of my actual string hand, the release hand moving on follow through. It's very stiff and very forced, and not a whole lot is happening. It looks as if I'm trying to control everything as much as possible, and in fact I believe that's what most people are trying to do when they have that kind of release. So my one tip on how to properly follow through is to just think about your shoulder. Forget about your hand. Do not do anything with your hand, and in fact, just let whatever happens to your hand happen, and only take the back side of your shoulder, the posterior deltoid area, or the land 2 if you've read anything from Total Archery or anything by my coach Kaminski. Back here, this spot, he calls the land 2. In anatomical terms, it's more closely represented by talking about the posterior deltoid area, somewhere in this spot here. If you think about this spot on your shoulder moving around and behind you in an angular fashion, so as I go to release and follow through, I'm just trying to move my shoulder around this direction and let it swing around me. If I focus on nothing more than moving that spot around and behind me in a swinging, arcing fashion, my release is absolutely as good as it can possibly get, at least for me. I've found this to be true for most people, including those that bend the wrist like this and stiffen up upon release to try to clean up their release. If I say forget about everything else and just take that shoulder and move it around and behind you, the release just dramatically cleans up automatically. Now to take it to the next level, you can also start to move that shoulder or engage that shoulder as you're pulling the bow back. So if I'm trying to pull the bow back with that posterior deltoid area, the land 2, and move it around and behind me, and then continue that motion through follow through, everything is just very, very effortless. For more information on how I actually shoot, the form that I use, I'm going to recommend this book here. It's called Total Archery. It's written by my teammate Tyler Benner and my coach Kaminski. It's available at my website jkaminski.com, and basically it's a really great manual on how to do everything you can possibly imagine in regards to shooting form. This is specifically for Olympic style recurve, but it does apply to many other types of archery, including barebow, traditional, and some of it will apply to compound as well. The general principles will, in my opinion. Hey, if you like this video, consider sharing it. Genuinely, that's the only way that this channel grows. I don't run any other social media. I only produce YouTube content. I've eliminated social media from my life, and I've never been happier. So I'm relying on you, my viewers, to help spread the word about this channel. Genuinely, it helps grow it. Also, hit that subscription button and the notification bell down below. Again, that's how this channel grows, and I thank you for doing that. Please do consider supporting this channel. I'm a one-man band. I produce this content for free for archers around the world to enjoy. I have no paywall anywhere for anything other than some exclusive looks at what I do behind the scenes, some equipment I'm working on, and access to me to answer questions more directly through my Patreon, as well as to YouTube members. I get tons and tons and tons of comments and questions, and I simply can't go through them all. So I'm really narrowing my focus to those who are making a difference to support this channel financially, because again, I'm producing this content for free for everyone around the world to enjoy, and I can't thank my supporters enough. All the different ways that you can support this channel, there'll be links in the description below. You can also head to my website, jkaminski.com. There's PayPal donate button. There's a PO box to send things to. There's many, many different things and many different ways you can support this channel. Thank you again.